crazy gigs. You know, take me into the life of Aaron Coker for a second. You know.
Here recently, it's been mostly restaurants type areas, and that's fun because it's family friendly. It's um, sometimes you have to watch P's and Q's on what you say because you don't want to offend anybody or
Right.
slip up and say the wrong thing.
I know.
And you got to watch what you do, and it's a lot of professionalism that goes into it. You got to carry yourself with a professional look, style. um, you have to watch, like I said, you have to watch what you say. A lot of stuff, and it's how you treat people that you really have to be careful about. But once you start doing it, it's easy. It pretty much when I go out and I'm dealing with the public, I treat them like my family, and which means I wouldn't say something to them that I wouldn't say to my mom and dad, and that way I know I'm good and clean.
Safe.
But you know, several years back when I was actually touring, I got to go everywhere from, you know, I did a southern tour, everywhere from Texas to Florida and up to Arkansas and around that area, Tennessee, and that's different. You wake up every day in a different town, and you never know what you're about to walk into, and you never know the people you're about to meet, and sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes you're going, all right, come get me, you know, bodyguards, come here. Not that I had any, but you know, I had a lot of friends that act like it.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
you know, being the front man, your rest of your band, mainly your drummer is always your bodyguard, and so you know, but it's you learn a lot about people, including yourself, and it's not fun all the time.
Really?
Overall, it's amazing. But you have them days and weeks that are just like, why would I do this? But at the same, I mean, you wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's right.
You come home, you get a break on the leg. You come home and spend time with your family, and you live it up, and then you turn right back around and you go do it again. I was doing that. I was driving to the shows. I would take some vacation, some leave time from work, and get to go. But for the most part, I had to go back to work. So they would be, you know, in Texas or in Arkansas, and I would, they would be going to their hotel room or whatever, and I would be in my car driving back home, trying to get home before it was time for me to clock in.
Oh my
A lot of times didn't get any sleep.
Oh
Went
my
right to work,
gosh.
working with glass.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was, you know, a lot of scary moments hitting deer in the middle of the night and out in the middle of nowhere.
Worst.
Yeah, but it turned me in. You know, like I said, it everything in my past has been building blocks, and it's taken me, you know, to that level of where I could be bettered. And you know, talking about with Angie, you know, she had something to work with, and I mean, I honestly I owe a lot to her on that because I mean I was just kind of, hey, I got a show tonight, woohoo, and I go play it, and I loved it, and I was fine with it, and she's like, no, you can do so much better, you can step up and do, you know, more, and I was like, well, let's do it, and like, wow, you was right, this is awesome, so it's building blocks, you know, everything is.
How do you deal with criticism? I mean, I can't imagine that you get much, but just the way that you, your body language when you were talking about your fiance and she was saying to you, you know, hey, let's tweak this. You could do this. Some people would immediately get on the defense, like, well, what do you mean? I've been doing this. I doubt that, right?
Sometimes I'm hard headed. I know best, and you know, I've been doing this for I've been doing this so long. I know what I'm doing, and a lot of times I do things so southpaw. It's so out there, but in the end, most of the time it comes back as a benefit on me. Whereas someone looking in is like, "What are you doing?" And I get in trouble.
I can't imagine.
But you know, it's a love affair because her love of music, my love of music, people's love of music. You know, I look at it like this: if somebody's going to criticize me, it's because they're trying to tell me something that they think is going to make me better, and that means that they are showing interest and they're showing their support.
Right.
and you can't be mad at somebody for giving you some constructive criticism. Now, I've had a few people that's had a one too many and out of, you know, a bar, and it got interesting. But on situations like that, that's when you just like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, and I hope that, you know, you'll like this set better, or this song better, or, you know, what song do you like? Maybe I can play it for you. Or and sometimes it's over with them, and you're like, well, you know, I hate you feel that way.
But thanks.
But you know, and then in the back of your mind, you're going, well, you know, there's a bunch of other people here that's liking it. So what do you do?
There's always that one.
That's right.
It's like when you post something on YouTube and you scroll down the comments and everyone's like, oh yeah, I like that, I love this, I love that. And there's that one person that has to spoil it for the bunch. Wow, that's interesting. Back to criticism for a second. I want to talk to you about, I was reading a blog. I frequent a lot of blogs, and the blog was about, you know, the story that, you know, it's being told in music, and whatever the genre is, you know, if there's a story, a profound story that's being told, does it really even matter whether or not you like that style of music? I would love for you to speak on that a little bit. You know, if someone's telling this heartfelt story, and let's say it's in, I don't know, glitter rock or whatever. If it's a deep and profound story, say it's something about their childhood or something they experienced, does it really matter if it's not your particular genre of music that you like?
It's actually funny you said that. I posted something the other day. I'm not a fan of rap. I'm not passionate. Just
I'm
not a fan
of a lot of it,
you
myself. A lot of it is kind of like, nah, but you know.
there was a video of this. That he was a homeless guy, and he was rapping about, you know, just because he was homeless, his, you know, and he wasn't technically homeless, but that's how he was putting it across. It's like, you know, I'm not as rich as these other guys, and selling myself out to these industries. Therefore, he goes, you know, with what I got to say, I should be a mammy getting fed, is one of the lines that he was putting, because he was like, you know, I'm so much better because I'm real. I have a real family. I have real kids. And he was going on and on about it. And it was just like, wow, you know, he nails it. He nails the music industry. He nails people's perception of the musicians and their, you know, their lifestyles that everybody has in their head that musicians live by and whatever. But, you know, it goes from that really caught my attention to, you know, country to rock to blues to, I've wrote, minus the rap, I wrote just about every style of music. So I'm a fan of music. You know, I'm a fan of putting your soul on the line and letting somebody hear who you truly are. There's no shield when it comes to putting yourself on the line. I don't care what type of music that is. If you're doing it truly from your soul, the style of music's just a different beat.
Right. I like the way you said that. I was very curious to ask you that because I just felt like you were going to give me an honest opinion about that. I was reading about that yesterday in the blog, and it just caught me, and I said, well, I'm going to be sitting down with Aaron Coker. I'm going to ask him what he thinks about that. So let's talk about performing live. Tell me about what it feels like when you walk up onto that stage and the sound check's just right and you're getting ready to play your first note.
When everything's on, you're still nervous a little bit.
Really?
But your excitement, your energy's overwhelming that. And it's not the fact that you're nervous that, oh, I hope I don't mess up, or, you know, I hope I don't do this. It's not that kind of, it's the kind of nervous. It's like, I am the center of attention for the next how many minutes I'm going to be up here. And that's always a little, you know, nerve-wracking. And then by the time you get halfway through your first song, that's out the window and you're just having fun. And I walked on stage. I was opening for a band, a friend of mine, Crossing Dixon. And they were a great band, and a bunch of people was there. And I hadn't played in front of that many people in a long time. It was so awesome. And walked out there, and I strummed, and everything was perfect, and my voice was dead on, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go. And you know, it's one of those memories that will never be taken away from me. It's for that few minutes that you're doing it, you're everything that you've been working so hard to become. At that particular moment, you are that just for a few minutes, but that's where you are, and it's the best feeling in the world. Always, I was telling a buddy of mine, he was learning how to play guitar, and he was asking me about it, and I said, look, when you get up there and you play, I said, it gives you a bigger high than any drug, any alcohol will ever give you, and you remember it.
That's a good one.
And he was like, wow, he finally got up and he went and played a show, and he called me that night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. He called me and said, dude, I played my first show. He goes, you are not lying. He goes, it was so awesome. I can't wait to do it. It's addictive. Being out there and you're playing and you're entertaining people, and especially when they're getting into the music and they're dancing and cheering, and I've even had them sing along with me.
Oh, wow. How's that?
On my originals. Which was the most amazing feeling in the world. Went and played a show one night, and I was playing a cover, and I look over, and entire table, which were all band members, were standing up with lighters in the air.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I mean, it was heartwarming. It was amazing, and that's why it's the feeling that you get of being able to sell your soul in the right direction,
right,
instead of the wrong direction. I've seen a lot of people that they had it and they messed it up big time because they lost track. And every time I get on stage, I get right back on track. It's kind of like a reboot to, hey, this is who you are. And look, I ain't gonna lie to you, you get on stage and everything ain't right. That's happened quite a few times too. You strum the guitar and it goes haywire, some sound's not right, or you're having feedback problems, or your voice is out, or you hit the wrong note. Do that quite a bit. It kind of brings you back down, put your feet back on. Don't get your head too big, because it's gonna, it has a funny way of bringing you right back to the ground, and sometimes it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts you. It'll teach you humility real quick, and it hurts your feelings, but it's good. Yeah. It goes back to, self-criticism. I'm the biggest critic I have, and I haven't played the perfect show yet. I don't think I ever will. I played cool shows. I played great shows. I think I've sounded awesome on certain things, but I haven't been the best I know I'm going to be, or I hope I'm. I haven't, because I want to get better. And you got to have that sense of self-criticism, and to keep your feet on the ground, because once you lose touch with reality, I've seen it. It's over. You go downhill real quick, and people don't want to be around you. People don't want you to play for them. They can't relate to you anymore. You got to have your feet on the ground.
Yes, indeed. I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of people, they don't get that. They don't understand that. And I want to go back for a second. You mentioned humility. I want to talk about that for a second. Can you give me an example of a moment where something kind of just grabbed you and said, hey, Aaron, you need to take just a big old bite of this humble pie. Something that nobody else knows about.
Well, it was pretty obvious actually that night. I was on stage playing a show. A bunch of people was there, had a packed house, and I was playing original that they all wanted me to play, because there were a bunch of friends there, and I butchered it. I mean, when I say I butchered it, I forgot chords, I forgot words. My voice was hitting octaves I don't think I've ever hit before or since. And I was like, I got done playing, I just had to laugh. I was like, I might have to redo that one here in a little bit, but I'm going to take a quick break, walk outside, take a deep breath, and realize what just happened, because it'll get you.
That's what makes you so real, that you can say that.
Yeah.
That wasn't my best. I'm going to come back and we're going to have a bogey or a do-over, or whatever the cute term is for a do-over is. I
think the biggest thing was when I walked outside afterwards and I had a bunch of people go, what happened? And it was like, I don't know. I messed up. I thought I had it. And, they're all like, dude, that was pretty rough. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I I'll fix it. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of took a deep breath and went back in, cleared my head, went back in, and went at it. And kind of was like, I mean, pay more attention because you know you're up there playing, you're playing every night, you're playing 3-4 hours a night,
Mm-hmm.
and you get into a routine, and then you're just like, I got it,
Mm-hmm.
and you just go,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like second nature,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden something happens,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you wake up in the middle of a song and you're like,
Wait a minute.
oh, where was I at?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, me having the memory issues that I have, it it's tough sometimes. I get a lot of criticism because I use a few devices that help me remember some of the songs,
That's okay.
and you know, I take it well. It's like, well, you know, Collect a Soul is using music stands. You know, Nirvana used music stands. You know, Aerosmith does it. All these big bands do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're playing 100,000 songs that they've wrote, but and I've wrote like you know a few. But
Well.
it's you know when on average I play between 45 to 60 depending on the length of the show.
Mm-hmm.
45 to 60 songs a show,
Wow.
and that's a lot for someone to remember. And
Yeah.
I know people that do it. They have you know they have photo. What do you call it? Well, they see it one time and it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them I have friends, a good buddy of mine, a vocalist, who he hears it one time and he can nail it every time. And he knows he listens to a song one time. He's got every note, every inflection of that note, every word of the song down one time.
Wow.
Got it. I can't do that.
And I think that's okay. I mean, back to YouTube again. If you go on there and Google any musician's name, just about, and you'll see the performances, and every now and again they'll forget a lyric.
Yeah.
And they'll just be mumbling them, and they'll even tell you, man, I'll forget lyrics. I'll forget where I was at. I'll forget, you know, if they're the dancing type, you know, I'll forget moves, and I don't know where I am on the stage. That's okay.
Kenny Davis, he calls me the impromptu king or something. Improv king. Yeah, my mom would say.
That's
My
okay.
mom went blank again.
That's okay. It
But,
happens to me all the time.
Because we'll get up there and I'll be playing a song and just completely space out on us like, what was the next verse? And I just make something up.
That's
Now
right.
everybody rolling. It got to the point to where he gets musicians up there, just they let them get up there and play like they just play guitar and they don't know any songs and stuff that they just put together right and they don't know any covers. And I'll let Aaron come up here and sing on this. And okay, he just make stuff up.
That's
There's
right.
a few of them on there. Me and a buddy of mine, Talon Williamson, we got up there and just off the top of his head, off the top of my head, he had some music wrote, and I just went to town with it, and actually turned out to be a really cool song.
Wow,
So
that's awesome. The best songs sometimes come out of a jam, right?
that's right.
That's right. So let's talk about practicing. How much do you really practice?
I get in trouble. That's one of the things I get in trouble about.
Really?
I don't practice as much
Secret's
as
out.
I should. I play so many shows. You know, I got my band's coming up, Aaron Coker band's coming up, and I have been practicing, and it's fun to practice, but at the same time it gets frustrating because I try to hit things in certain ways, and then when you got 4 guys in a room together and it's got to be dead on, you got to make it sound good.